It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the PWHPA professional hockey player, Shea Tiley. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to start playing professional hockey?
I watched my dad play professional hockey for a long time growing up, and then after college, I knew that I wanted to continue playing, and then that was going to be my best chance at hopefully making the national team. So it's always been a goal of mine, definitely.
What was it like for you to obviously go to Charleston University?
Yeah, Clarkson was amazing. I wasn't a very heavily recruited prospect, I would say. So going there, I knew what was needed of me, and I absolutely fell in love with this school. And my teammates are still my best friends to this day, and it was the greatest experience I've had in my hockey career so far.
What was it like putting on the Clarkson jersey?
It was incredible. There's so much pride and culture and everything that goes into that jersey, and all the things that the girls accomplished prior to my arrival in 2014 with winning the national championship the year before I got there. So there was so much pride putting on that jersey and being able to call myself a Golden Knight.
Of course, talking about that 2014 championship, what was it like the year after?
It was pretty funny. I think all my classmates can say that everyone thought that we won too, so we kind of rolled with it for a little while just because it was too confusing telling people, no, we actually weren't here. But then we were able to make up for it a couple years later.
What was that like, obviously, going to the national championship years later?
It was awesome. Obviously, we had a great outcome, but we had a big experience my sophomore year of going to the Frozen Four and having a heartbreaking loss. And I think a lot of people on that team that were juniors and sophomores and freshmen can attest to how hard that loss was, and making sure that we did not want to ever feel that way again.
What was it like competing in the Frozen Four?
It was awesome. You're playing you're playing all the best teams in women's college hockey, and the competition's super high. It's one and done games. So you're just kind of leaving everything out there, and you get to kind of go to new areas too. We have to go out west for both of our Frozen Fours, which we didn't really get to go out that way many times. So it was just a really cool experience. And then doing it with the girls on my team that were there is just, I'll never forget it.
What was it like coming out of Clarkson, going into obviously the professional league in the CWHL?
It was really exciting. It was definitely a little different, just because he had so much structure at school with classes and practices and games, and he knew kind of when everything was happening. And then in the professional world, you're kind of on your own a little bit more, but it was still an amazing experience. I learned a ton about myself, my game, and my teammates were awesome too. It was a really fun year.
What was it like playing for the Toronto Fury?
It was a lot of fun. We had a really good group of girls. Sometimes the results didn't really go our way, but it was just the group of girls made it so much fun. It was always, we always put our best effort in and gave teams a lot of trouble, and it was just a really good experience for me personally and professionally to advance my career.
What was it like, obviously, getting to sign your first professional contract and getting drafted?
It was something that I didn't really know was a thing for, me or women's sports really. So it was a really cool experience. Being able to say I was drafted and that I was able to sign a contract. It was a really cool experience. I'm looking forward to more in the future, hopefully.
What was it like the first time you got to put on that Toronto Fury jersey?
It was a great experience. The girls in the locker room, I played with a couple at Clarkson. So being reunited with them, some of the girls from the national team that are with all the time. So it was really cool. And then obviously there's a lot of history with the Toronto Furies as well. So it was an honor to represent them.
Of course, what were some of your favorite moments and memories playing with the Toronto Fury?
There's a lot. We had a lot of late night practices, a lot of goofiness. I think our trip to China was a ton of fun. We made the most of it, of our week-long trip there. There's just so many little moments, little stories that I'll never forget. A lot of funny girls on that team.
Of course, once the CWHL folded, what was it like obviously going into the PWHPA versus obviously the NWHL?
At first it was pretty shocking. None of us really saw it coming. And then, kind of immediately the PWHPA was formed and we were all on board. I really, align with their standards and, where they want to go with women's hockey. And I completely agree. And I just kind of knew that's what I wanted to do. And that's where I wanted my career to continue.
What was it like obviously getting the opportunity to work with the independent?
It's been a really good experience, definitely different, but at the same time, we're creating something so much bigger than ourselves. And I think that's kind of the coolest part, that in the future, I can say that whether I'm still playing or not, like, in 5 years or 2 years, I can be like, I was a part of this. I helped progress this sport. And, I helped make this a thing because I was a part of that association. So it's really cool. And I really enjoy it.
What was it like going from the independent to Toronto?
There wasn't a huge difference because a lot of the independent games that I played in were very Toronto based girls already. So, I've been practicing and playing with those girls against them or with them for years at that point. So it was just fun to be considered a team and then getting to know everyone on a deeper level. And it was a really good 2 years.
What was it like going from Toronto to Minnesota?
It's been good so far. We haven't played any games yet. We've just been practicing so far, but we have some showcases coming up, hopefully. But it's been really good. I didn't know a ton of girls down here. I just kind of knew of them, but everyone's been great so far, and I'm really looking forward to getting into games with them.
What was the transition like from obviously going from being on 3 different teams in 3 different years?
Like I said, the independent in Toronto team was very similar, so I didn't really feel like I was going from different teams. This year was definitely different because I moved to a new country really, and I didn't know a ton of the girls. But the hockey world's small; everyone accepts you, and it's been a really good transition and pretty easy.
What is a typical game day like for you playing in the PWHPA?
Typical game day, I'm usually pretty relaxed. I get up, have breakfast, hope if we have a morning skate, go to that, maybe take a nap and then get some more food and then go to the game. It's nothing too crazy. I don't have too many superstitions.
Of course, what are some similarities and differences between the PWHPA, the CWHL, and obviously now the PHF?
I think like the similarities between the CW and the PWHPA is, Jana was pretty heavily involved in both, and obviously she's very heavily involved. And I think our goals in the CWHL align really well with what we're doing in the PWHPA. We just didn't have the correct structure to, do exactly what we wanted. But with the PWHPA, we're really progressing it and, hopefully leading it towards a true sustainable league where, we don't have to work outside of playing hockey.
Can you talk about, of course, that balance of working and playing professionally?
Yeah, so the last couple of years I didn't really work all that much. I was just training with the PWHPA and then the national team. And then this year it's changed a little bit. So I obviously train with the PW Minnesota team, but I'm also a substitute teacher working on getting my full teaching license here in Minnesota. So balancing that has definitely opened my eyes to what some of my teammates have gone through in the past. And, you always had sympathy for them and saw how hard they were working. But now that I'm actually doing that as well, it's, I have so much more respect for all those girls that have been doing that for years and years and years. It's really difficult. And, you have to explain yourself to people sometimes, like, oh, you play professional hockey. Why are you here? Why are you working? It's like, well, that's the goal. Like that is the goal, to not have to do that.
Of course, what is that like, obviously having that balance of obviously being a professional athlete, but also having another side of income?
I kind of compare it to when I was in college, like you go to your classes and you balance hockey, like school was your work, hockey was your fun. So that's kind of how I compare it. But, it would be a lot more fun if we just played hockey all the time. But at the same time, I'm really happy with the career I have outside of hockey as well.
What's it like, obviously, getting to see fans wear your jersey in the PWHPA?
It's so cool. It's so cool. Like, we didn't really have that in college at all. Sometimes if we had an extra jersey, a parent would wear it, but it was never like, you'd never see the student section wearing your jersey or anything like that. So now seeing little kids or little girls, or even adult fans like wearing your jersey, and it shows how much they appreciate you and the game and the women's game and what we're doing. So it's an amazing feeling.
What is it like, obviously, getting to see those young adults and young females look up to you and want to have your autograph and obviously be your inspiration?
Yeah, it's really cool. I just appreciate it. I'm appreciative of where I am in my hockey career, and what we're doing. And I have a younger sister and younger cousins that play hockey, and at the end of the day, like, I'm kind of doing this for them. Like, yeah, I'm doing it for me, but I'm really doing it for the younger generation, and we are doing it for the younger generation, so that when they leave college, they know that, okay, yeah, I can go play professionally and be treated like a professional and make professional wages, and not have to worry about, okay, I need to play professional hockey, but I also need to balance a career at the same time. And so that's kind of how I see it.
What advice what is some of your game day routines and rituals like?
I like to play spike ball with the girls. We usually get a pretty big game of spike ball going. It gets pretty competitive, so it's a lot of fun. And then I juggle a little bit, but other than that, I don't really do or overthink it. I find when I overthink things, I play terribly. So I don't take things too seriously most times.
Who are some people that you look up to in the hockey community?
There's a lot of people, a lot of past teammates that I've played with. I think a couple people that come to mind are like Renata Fast and Aaron Ambrose, who I played with at Clarkson. They kind of led the way for us when we were freshmen, and then getting to play with them throughout the last couple of years on the national team has been amazing. And then another person that I met after college, like, I knew her a little bit in college, but not really, Brianne Jenner. She's just the ultimate pro. She's one of the nicest people. She pushes you. And I think if we compared men and women's hockey, she is the ultimate pro. She's an incredible person, and she's showed me so much in the last couple of years, and it's been a pleasure to play with her, and I definitely look up to her.
What advice would you give future college hockey players looking to play college hockey?
I think, obviously have fun and be competitive, but at the end of the day, you gotta make sure you're enjoying what you're doing. Go to a place where, you can thrive. You got to enjoy the school, you got to enjoy the academics, and you have to enjoy the athletics. You can't just pigeonhole yourself into one aspect in one domain. Get the whole college experience, because then that will just translate to a better on ice experience as well.
What are some of your future plans in your professional hockey career?
Just continuing to play with the PWHPA and advancing that, and hopefully creating that league eventually.
What advice would you give college hockey players looking to go either into the PHF or the PWHPA?
I think my biggest advice is, do your research, talk to people, ask questions. Like, there's never a dumb question. I'm sure like I have friends in the PHF, ask questions, see where your values align, and then see what's the best fit for you. Everyone's different. What I wanted for my hockey career and my future aligned best with the PWHPA. That might not be the case for others for some reason. So, just doing what's best for you, but really doing your research and asking questions and stuff like that.
What advice would you give professional hockey players looking to play professionally?
Again, same as the college, just really do your research, ask questions. Like, don't be afraid to, if you don't really know that many people, like message us on Instagram, Twitter, we'll answer it, or anything like that. Just reach out. And again, there's never a dumb question. So
where can my listeners find you at on social media?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram, and you can find me at Tiley, Tiley _31.
Thank you again, Shea Tiley, for your interview, and best of luck in your future in the PWHPA.
Thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Shea, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.